I love it. I know, we're going to get started.
Sanya, what's going on with your side over there?
So lonely. Well, you got shown on Zoom.
What's up with your side?
Alrighty. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Feel free to grab a seat. We're starting this meeting at 7:01. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Bueno, buenas tardes. Good evening, everyone. I hope we all had a wonderful first week of school, despite this heat wave, right? But grateful for our team. We have fully central AC in all of our schools. And so, Miss Velez, thank you. Miss Velez came prepared with a fan. I love that. Alrighty, team. So, welcome to our first meeting of the school year. The first item on our agenda is a motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting on June 7th.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting on June 7th. I second.
Alrighty. I will now open it up to public comment. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to speak in public comment? Hola, Robbie.
Little Robbie wants to speak.
Going once? Going twice? Alrighty. Closing public comment section. I will now turn it over to Dr. Beta, who has a couple presentations for this evening.
Great. Good evening, everybody. I do have a couple of presentations for this evening. Before I do the presentations, though, I would like to say welcome back. Welcome back to our staff and to our students. We had a really strong start to our school year. And today is our 5th day of school. This year we welcomed 6,123 students. We also held our first in-person convocation since 2019. It was exciting to be together. That was the theme of this year, Together We Rise. And together we can know all our students by name, strength, and story. We also welcomed many new staff to our district, whom I will introduce a few of them to you later. And I will also introduce administrators at the district and the school level. And so with that, what I'd like to my first presentation for the night is our Butterfly Awardee. And the Butterfly Award is given in remembrance of Carolyn Arnond, former Chelsea Public Schools educator. The Butterfly Award will be given to a Chelsea Public Schools teacher by the family of Carolyn Arnond to support creative ideas and innovative instructional practices. It will be presented annually at the opening day of convocation, which it was, to an educator who exemplifies the qualities and attributes that Carolyn brought to her professional practice. And this year's Butterfly Award goes to Stella Keenan. Is she here? Okay. And so we do have a little something to commemorate, and if you can come up here, and we will hand this over to you. But I do want to share with everybody why you received the award. Yeah. Yes. If you can stand or sit, and then we can get some pictures afterwards. It's up to you. So this is written by Adam Aronson, and Mr. Aronson is in the room. And he says, as I sit down to write this nomination, I'm realizing it is nearly impossible to express how clearly Stella exemplifies the above 5 characteristics. I will try to explain who she is through a brief anecdote, but please feel free to contact me. In 2020, the world closed down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Work went remote for nearly all workers except for our essential workers. As a school, the Chelsea Opportunity Academy serves students who are overaged and undercredited who are off track to graduate due to outside life circumstances. Our students are 17 years or older and often work full-time jobs. During the pandemic, 70% of COA students were working full-time and completing courses with our asynchronous curriculum. One population of students began to fall further and further behind, our ELL students, particularly those who were working and had major gaps in their education. Sela advocated at times ferociously for our students. She pushed her fellow teachers and administration to dig deep into ELL best practices. She co-facilitated a year-and-a-half-long PD series for staff to build best practices in curriculum and instruction so that her colleagues could best support all students. She worked nights and weekends to provide an educational experience and social service connections to her students. As schools reopened, she noticed that our working ELL students still continued to lag behind in terms of academic credit. Many of these students held highly skilled jobs, including an arborist, a head chef, and a floor installation expert that had tremendous academic overlap. She began to brainstorm and through her powerful advocacy created a work to credit program at Chelsea Opportunity Academy. To date, this program has served over 40 of our city's most in need students. Her students are loved, supported, and pushed to become their best selves. So congratulations and thank you. We would love to get photos with you and your nominee. And I know, Mr. Smith, are you here? You're here. Come. Why don't you come get? The school committee and everyone. All right. So now what I will do is we will introduce our new school administrators and central office administrators. So I'm going to start with school leadership. So first I'd like to introduce Katie Cook. She's the principal of Brown Middle School. She's wasn't able to make it tonight. Tiffany Robinson, assistant principal of Chelsea High School. She's okay. Yep. Jennifer Knight, assistant principal, Chelsea High School. Stand up. Tulani Husband, assistant principal, Maurice Siegel Clark Avenue Middle School. Christina Tomacheco, assistant principal, Maurice Siegel Clark Avenue Middle School. Joanna Sanchez Selmo, assistant principal, Brown Middle School. Stephanie Hoffa, special education coordinator, Brown Middle School. And then with central office, Malik Hussan, innovation access and opportunity officer. Dr. Alberto Carrero, Director of Multilingual Education. Alma Pezzo, Assistant Director of Multilingual Learners. Felicia Paisley, Equity and Excellence Coordinator. And welcome back, Jacqueline Corbaci, Early College and Career Pathways Coordinator. And Pete Papasilio, the Visual and Performing Arts Coordinator. Carolyn Bean, Coordinator of Related Service Providers. And that is all for our central office and school administrators. Welcome, and some of you welcome back. And for those of you that have been with us a long time, congratulations on your promotions.
Congratulations.
Great. Okay, for the second part of our presentation, and I'm actually going to divvy this up so you don't have to hear my voice the whole time. So I'm going to give a couple to our school committee chair, and this is our the teachers who have just now received professional status, and that means that they are now have professional status in Chelsea Public Schools, and they are tenured. So I would like to go ahead and give a few to everybody because we have many. Some people may not be here tonight, so. Okay, yeah, everybody can. Okay. That way we're not everybody's.
Were you taking three?
Are they reading?
Were you taking three?
Yeah, about, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. Or maybe. There's a lot. And it might be short a little, 2, 3. So maybe 2 each on this side. Okay.
Okay, so we're just reading off the names. Yes. Alrighty, I'll kick us off. Congratulations to Stephanie Duvey.
If you're here, please stand up.
Apologies if I said your name incorrectly. DeVoe.
DeVoe.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Yes.
Alrighty. Pauline Wan. Congrats, Pauline. And Kelly Murray. Alrighty, I'll kick it off to our vice chair.
Alrighty, congrats, Adele McKinney. Lynn Parela. Daniel Lyman. Congrats, folks. I'll pass it over to Ms. Alfaro.
Thank you. Just forgive my pronunciations. I have a strong accent. Isabel Nadal.
That's pretty good.
Of course, eso es, imagínate, español. Mackenzie Calif. Okay. Reina Berbeck. Well, congratulations to my lucky ones and to all of you.
All right. First, I have Brooke Baloden. Well, congratulations, Brooke. Next, I have William Estrada. All right. There we go. Some audience love for Mr. Estrada. And last but not least for me, Craig Simons. All right, well, congratulations to all three of you. I will pass it on to Ms. Velez.
Okay, so Kimberly Remington.
And Brianna Cuoto, so I might pronounce the name wrong, and I'm thinking, Ms. Pazo, I think I went to read at the Kelly School, and you gave me a book to read. Your name is a song, and it helps you how to pronounce names, so I think I need to reread that again.
Damon Bailey? No? Go ahead, Naomi.
Congratulations, Ida Pena. And Alex Breen.
And congratulations to Christina Carboni. No? Congratulations. And to Hannah Kittle. No?
Congratulations to all of the teachers who are with us in spirit. And now I will ask those who are here to join us in the front for a group photo. Can I actually have administrators join us and school leaders as well? Come on.
And were any of the administrators, were any
Alrighty, team, let's give one more round of applause. And sincere apologies for any mispronunciations on our behalf. I'll turn it back to you, Dr. Rita.
Okay. And now I would like to call up Mr. Adam Delady, Deputy Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you, Dr. Abeda. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to share the indicators of success. Each month, we give updates on progress towards our goals. The first indicator is our district-wide daily attendance rate. Last year, we gave updates up until June, but just wrapping up the end of the year, we have our final data on page 1. As you can see, we have some grades that increased over the previous year, some grades that decreased over the previous year. The grades that increased were grade 5, 6, 7, 8, historically some challenging grades with attendance, and they've all increased over the previous year. Grades 10, 11, and 12 all increased, and I do want to highlight that grade 12 In the 2021-2022 school year, had an attendance rate of 48%. It increased all the way to 74.8% for the 2022-2023 school year. So almost a 30% jump there, so we're happy about that. As a district total, we held tight. The previous year was 88.1% attendance, and last year we ended with 88.0%, so a 0.1% drop overall in attendance. But as I've reminded the committee many times, we had our triple-demic of the COVID-19, RSV, and the flu. So to hold even was, I think, a strong accomplishment. On to page 2, indicator 3. We're really making efforts to increase our ability to have students taking challenging classes. Beginning in grade 8, we started our Algebra 1 program. So that's typically a high school course. Many districts have it in 8th grade, so we followed suit. We had 24 students start the year in algebra in 8th grade last year, and we ended with 27. So we increased a little bit, and we're hoping to increase that number even more this year, and I think we have a good start thus far. The number of students enrolled in AP courses increased. By the end of the 21-22 school year, we had 236 students enrolled in AP courses, and by the end of last year, we had 273, so almost a 40 student increase in the number of students taking AP courses. Particular calculus is a big one. We actually remained exactly the same beginning and end of the year. We started with 138 and ended with 121. We highlight calculus because that's one of the most challenging courses, and we typically do have some students dropping, and I think that's okay because we are really encouraging lots of students to try. And some students, it's just not working out, which, as many of us who have taken calculus in the past have found that it's not exactly an easy course. Our number of students enrolled in early college courses, the beginning of the 21-22 school year, we had 214. The beginning of last year, we had 325. By the end of the year, we had 317, which was also an increase over the previous year. And then when we look at dual enrollment, the end of the 21-22 school year, we had 310 students. By the end of last year, we had 394. So we had 394 students dual enrolled high school college simultaneously. Indicator 5 on page 3. You'll see we actually don't have the data yet there, but that's the percentage of grade 4 students getting a 3 or better in reading, writing, math, and science. There's a glitch in the report card system that we're trying to work out, so we'll have that data next time. But I highlighted it there just to let you know we're not forgetting about it. Indicator 6 is the percent of grade 8 students that exit grade 8 going into grade 9 with a C or better in ELA, writing, math, and science. In ELA, we increased over the previous year up to 80.8% of our 8th graders got a C or better in ELA. We did slightly drop in writing from 71 to 68%, a slight drop in math from 71 to 69%, and about a 6% increase in science from 75 to 81%. On to page 4. Percent of high school students in AP courses that actually attain a 3, 4, or 5. We had an increase in the number of students enrolled, as we said, and the number of AP tests actually taken went up from 269 to 375, which is a large increase, and with that, we're encouraging students to challenge themselves and take these tests. But as a result, we did dip in the percentage of students who actually got the 3, 4, or 5. But we're still proud of that increase in the number of students taking it. So it went from 41% in 21-22 to 35% in 22-23. Indicator 8, we're going to have to wait on. The graduation data lags a little bit, so we're still waiting on that. We have a sense of where it is, but we want to make sure the numbers are correct, so we have to wait for the state on that one. And if anyone's wondering, the 21-22 5-year graduation rate's not available yet. because those kids get an extra year because it's a 5-year rate, so that's still from the 22-23 year, if that makes sense. On to page 5, indicator 9. This is really, I didn't highlight green or red for any of these particular areas because I don't want to say one option is better than the other, but we want all of our high school students graduating to graduate with a plan. So this will just give you a sense of what % our students are doing each plan. So 55.7% of our graduates will be attending a 2 or 4 year college. 33.2% are entering directly into the workforce. 0.6% will be going into the military. 3.1% entering some sort of certificate program. 0.3% will be taking either a gap year or city year program. And then 5.2% entering a trade school, adding up to 98.2% of our students with graduating with a plan. So almost at 100. On page 6, indicator 11, this is retention. This is hard data to collect, so we're still working on this, but I wanted to highlight that we will have that for you by next month. On to page 8, sorry. Our mobility data, we shared most of this at the end of last year, but the final data, we had 451 students leaving the district and 720 students entering the district over the course of the year. And lastly, we have final data on our failing grades at the high school. So the final for grade 9, we had a total of 520 students, 59 of them failing 1 grade or 1 class, 53 of them having 2 failing grades, 39 of them with 3, 88 of them with 4 or more, for a total of 46%, which was a decrease over the previous year because, well, it was an increase in the percent, but a decrease in that it wasn't as good as the previous year. Previous year, we had 34.6%. And for grade 10, we had a total of 437 grade 10 students, 39 failed 1 class, 38 failed 2, 33 failed 3, 65 failed 4, for a total percent of 40, which was also a dip going from 37 to 40%. And lastly, for retention, we had an increase in the grade 9 students retained from the previous year. We went from 10.9% to 16.4%, but we did have a large decrease in our grade 10 students who were retained. In the 21-22 school year, 11.2% of our grade 10 students were retained, and in the 22-23 school year, only 2.5%. So that was a large decrease in the grade 10. And that concludes the indicators of success, and I'll take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Mr. Delady. Any questions from the team? Mr. Jimenez?
I have 2 questions. The first one on indicator 3, page 2. At the bottom for the dual enrollment, I'm just kind of curious, is the reason that the beginning of the school year is so low compared to the end, is that like an enrollment timeline issue?
You're talking about the dual enrollment where it's 49?
Yeah, and I'm just curious, like, it starts at 49 and then it ends like all the way at 394?
Yeah, and to be honest, we have Jackie here. We were actually talking about this very topic earlier in the day, and Jackie's coming in new to that data. I asked the same question. I said, what's the deal with that? I don't actually have an answer. So if I answered it, I'd be guessing. I was wondering the same thing, and we couldn't get an answer.
No worries at all, yeah. And then the other question I had was actually towards the end, page 9, on the retention. I'm curious, I feel like the grade 9 retention in particular, like it's almost 25, then it goes on to 11, then it goes up to 16. I'm kind of curious if you have any ideas on like why it's kind of so erratic, at least from these 3 data points.
Yeah, and they actually go along with MCAS trends from previous years. If you track those cohorts, you'll see lower MCAS production for those particular cohorts. So they're essentially in 2020, 2021, we had a larger percent. That was the ones who missed 2 years in middle school, so they came to high school less prepared. And so you do see those fluctuations. One thing to note with the retentions, it's not like in elementary school where they're not actually repeating a grade. They still go forward in a linear manner, but it's just a matter of like, if you fail 3 classes, but you pass history, you're still going to take 10th grade history. You just have to repeat the classes that you failed.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I had a quick question. Page 2, the AP, number of students enrolled in AP courses. Out of curiosity, how many students in total are eligible for AP?
All of them.
From 9 to 12, they can take AP classes?
That I'm not sure of, but any student who is eligible to take a class can take a class. So we don't say like, oh, you didn't pass a test to take it. Anyone can take the AP classes, but I think there are prerequisites.
Okay.
So you're not going to take you can't take calculus if you haven't passed algebra and geometry. But yeah.
Great. Okay. And are we seeing that they're mostly seniors taking AP classes at the high school?
I believe we have juniors taking AP classes.
See. Okay.
Sophomores taking AP classes.
That's great. Okay. Awesome. Mr. Jimenez.
Quick follow-up on that. Have we expanded the number of AP classes that we're offering as well, or is this increasing the number of classes and the same amount of courses that we were offering?
I don't have I can find that out for you.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to know, just to kind of think about, our AP classes getting fuller, and therefore, do we need to think about that? Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to just make a quick note of how, for the early college courses, how many more students are enrolled or last year, and I'm so proud of the high school team for really putting in the work to engage our students in taking rigorous classes. So shout out to the high school team and to the students taking these courses. Alrighty. Thank you, Mr. Delady.
Okay. We have not selected student reps yet. Mr. Morales is going through that process. The next report is our personnel update. So you can see, you will see the longest list of hires that it's in your packet. And of those hires that we've had, we've hired 54% Caucasian, 34% Hispanic, 7% Black, and 5% Asian Pacific Islander. And just a reminder, the demographic data is reported as legal, because I know there were some questions in the past about why are we using this demographic data, but this is what's legally what we report. And then, if you turn over to the enrollment report, we started this school year with 6,123 students. So I would like to commend these 2 reports for the record. And that completes my report.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Beta. Any questions from the team before we move to new business? Great. Alrighty. Next, we have consideration and action to accept federal title grants for school year 23-24 in the amount of $7,064,559 from DESE. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Ms. Zabit?
Yes.
Ms. Cabral?
Yes.
Ms. Cuevas Caraballo?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration and action to accept Massachusetts 21st Century and Mass Grad grants for school year 23 through 24 in the amount of $212,082 from DESE. Roll call, please.
Mr. Regan?
Yes.
Ms. Zabit?
Yes.
Ms. Cabral?
Yes.
Ms. Cuevas Caraballo?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Ms. Velez?
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro?
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration and action to accept $615,223 from DESE for the Adult Education Services State Grant for school year 23 through 24. Roll call, please.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration and action to accept up to $255,750 from DESE for the Civics Teaching and Learning Investigating History Implementation and Teacher Diversification Pilot Grants for this coming school year. Roll call.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration and action to accept private grants from the Bar Foundation, BU Consortium, and Reshevsky Foundation for school year 23 through 24 in the amount of $120,000. Roll call, please.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Consideration and action to accept a gift of 2 automated external defibrillators with an estimated value of $3,600 from Simon's Heart Organization and the Black Barklage Foundation for the Mary C. Burke Complex. Roll call, please.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Next, we have consideration and action to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a series of field trips to Mount Cardigan, New Hampshire for 8 COA students and 2 chaperones on September 28th, 29th, October 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, 24th, and 25th. Roll call, please.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
and Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Last, we have consideration and action to accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve an overnight field trip to Hale Education in Westwood, Massachusetts for 9 CVLA seniors and 4 chaperones on September 28th through the 29th. Roll call, please.
Mr. O'Regan,
Yes.
Ms. Zabit,
Yes.
Ms. Cabral,
Yes.
Ms. Covas Caraballo, Ms. Garcia,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Alfaro,
Yes.
Ms. Hernandez.
Yes.
That's 9 in the affirmative.
Motion carries. Alrighty, that concludes our new business. Next up, announcements. Mr. Jimenez?
I guess not an announcement, just more of a shout out to our staff. Just want to say thank you to everybody for all the work that you've been putting in, getting us ready for our students and having our students in. Yesterday was my first day as a CPS parent. Had a great time dropping off our son. We've just had a fantastic experience to all the educators at the ELC. So just a special shout out to them on a personal note. Thank you to everybody for all the work you've been putting in.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. Any others? Ms. Velez?
So for those who don't know what it takes to get back to school at a public school system, I have a lot of respect for what the work teachers, staff, administrators do working at a public school. This year has been super busy for us. So I just want to tell my peers here, when you want to call the superintendent at this time and moment, because you need her for something, and if she's not being readily available, please be patient. It's not an easy time of year for the back to school. There's a lot of ins and outs to make sure our students are in their classrooms, they have schedules, they're safe, and everything is set. So thank you, Dr. Beta, your team, teachers, administrators. I always have respect for what you do, but when you're in a system and you're really seeing it, I truly have even more respect for the work that is being done to educate our students. So thank you very much. And I just want to wish everybody a happy, safe, successful school year. And I always say this, listen to your crossing guards before you cross, okay? Because they'll jump out in front of my car last minute to stop me so you could cross. So please be aware. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Velez. Any others? No? Alrighty. On that note, meeting adjourned at, oh no, I'm sorry.
Motion.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Do I have a second? Second. Beautiful. Meeting adjourned at 7:41. Good night, everyone.